This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to say I've got big heavyweight, big Frazer Clarke back on IFL TV. How's life, Frazer?
All good, man. I've had a nice little break, enjoying life. It's fun.
Has it all sunk in now? What happened over the summer?
Yeah. It was an amazing time, but I can't say I don't still enjoy it because I just looked at the pictures yesterday, and obviously it was the best time of my life. So, but it's sort of edging away now. It's time to focus on the next journey now.
Of course, I'm going to come on to that next journey in a bit, but in that time off, I'm sure you've been enjoying life, etc. But in terms of boxing, what have you been thinking about?
Do you know what? I'm just sort of looking back on the amateur career and stuff, and how much I love the sport, the amateur sport, and respect the people in it. I think that's been a big thing to me. A lot of reflection. Obviously, the guys are out at the World Championships at the minute, so I've been keeping a keen eye on them. And obviously, there's a lot of decisions to be made and thinking about what's next. So I'm just being very open to boxing. I've enjoyed watching boxing, as a fan. Just watching a lot of boxing, some good fights on. So yeah, that's it really.
I mean, it's not a bad time to turn over. Of course, you've got Boxer and Sky doing their thing here. You've got Eddie and DAZN. You've got Frank and BT. There's other options on the table as well. But, I'm sure people are hounding you, etc. But in terms of the amount of platforms and promoters there are, it's probably the perfect time to turn over. Would you agree? Yeah,
it's the perfect time. But at the minute, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Do you know what I mean? I always wanted options, and now I've got them. Too many. It's difficult to make a decision. It's been very difficult when speaking to a lot of people. A lot of people have given me their time, which I've been appreciative of. But now it's time to make a decision. I'm still not sure myself. One day I think this platform, one day I think that one. But I'm getting closer all the time, and hopefully soon I'd have made a decision and we can start concentrating on the future.
Of course, it's quite obvious to the general public what that decision will be made on. Of course, it's got to be on the bottom line and how much you are going to get paid. But what is probably the most other significant factor that will attract you most to a platform aside from the money?
I think, you talk about the money. Obviously, the money's a massive thing, and, I've got a family to feed. But I want to become a world champion, that's no secret, and I feel like you need a good platform. You need someone who knows how to do it, knows how to build the fighter, look after the fighter, take him in the right direction. I feel like I've got to have a bit of authority within the sport. As much as people don't want to admit it stands for a lot. In this sport, it's not always what you know or whatever. It's who you are, and I feel like it goes a long way. Someone that's got my best interest at heart. Obviously, everyone's here to make money. It's a business. Let's make no mistake about it. I've stepped out of the sport of boxing. I've come into the business side. I'm fully aware of that. But I've got to think of myself, be a bit selfish. My best interest, my family's interest, and we'll go from there.
Would you say we're close to that decision now?
Yeah, it's closer than it was. It swings and roundabouts. One week it changes from one week to the next. But I'm getting closer in my head, I think, and once I'm there in my head, I'll go with that 100%.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll catch up when you've got some concrete news on that. Of course, I do want to get your thoughts quickly on other matters that have been going on in the heavyweight division. So we've seen Anthony Joshua, someone, of course, you know very well, doing the rounds in the States, going to different gyms, etc. There were suggestions that he's looking for a new trainer. Have you spoke to him much about that, his time in the States?
Not spoke to him about that, to be honest. I've seen he's out there. What he's doing, I'm not sure. Obviously, he's had a very successful career training here in Sheffield. Well, training in Sheffield and with Rumours. Whether he feels it's time for a change or not, I don't know. That's his thoughts, and it's totally up to him. But he's doing the rounds, and he's well entitled in himself to go and do that. If he thinks he needs a change and needs something different, I've seen he's been working with some amazing coaches. So he's entitled to that.
Okay. Of course, we saw one of the most exciting fights I think most boxing fans have seen and perhaps might ever see in Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Was your heart going up and down?
Oh, up and down. I was rooting for Fury like you wouldn't believe. Obviously, he's a Brit. I think he's done fantastic things for the heavyweight division at the minute. Great fight, great to see. He's just a really tough man, isn't he? A really tough geezer who can box. And what a character. So yeah, it was good.
He recently made some comments. He believes, aside from himself, that Joe Joyce currently is the man to beat. He feels like he's the next one. Again, you know Joe very well. I'm sure you go along with that as well. Perhaps people sometimes downplay how good Joe is, but you know what kind of chin, engine, punching power that man possesses.
Joe's a problem. 100% Joe's a problem. You know, people often, you hear it all the time, don't you? Oh, he's robotic, he's slow, he can't move, this and that. Well, you try and stop him. He's a difficult man really difficult man to stop. Good fighter, good character, nice person as well. So yeah, I agree with you. You know, Joe Joyce is right up there in that mix.
Just the last one. We are perhaps gearing to a fight between Fury and Whyte. Obviously, Whyte pulled out with injury this week, and it looks like he will be, well, okay, a little smirk on your face. You want to say something?
No, he's injured. He's injured, and the Fury fight might happen.
Do you think it was convenient timing? Of course, a lot of people are suggesting that.
A lot of people are suggesting that. I've heard it a lot. It might be a coincidence, might not. Who knows? I'm not his doctor, but even if it is, you know what? I won't begrudge him anyway. I think that Wallin fight was a difficult fight. I've boxed Otto Wallin, and I tell you what, he was a nightmare. Difficult fight, strange one. Even when it got made, I think what a strange decision. Do you know what I mean? But I think, you know, Dylan Whyte, Fury, it's a good fight. I think Fury has to go in as like a big favourite, to be honest. But Dylan Whyte, you know, he's a dangerous man in his day.
Okay. Well, listen, Frazer, appreciate your time here. We will have a catch-up when you've made that decision, whenever it happens. Appreciate your time on IFL TV, and yeah, I'll speak soon. All right?
Yeah, no worries. Take care, everyone. Respect.